Do you all still get an echo?
No, and we're live.
Mm,
All right. So, come on, guys. Let's continue our discussion. We do apologize for that technical difficulty. We were trying to look fabulous and not use headphones. We beat this face for you all, but technology will not let us have it. So we have to use the headphones. And thank you, Ida, for suggesting that we use headphones. See, that's what it means to have women working together, helping each other. So we are grateful. So thank you, Ida, for sharing that. All right. So we just give it a few minutes so other people can chime in. And please, as you join us, please share the video to every platform so that others can join us. And we still have our guests here, and they have been very patient. So I do appreciate them as well for setting this one out. But, no matter how much you plan, we have to sometimes make accommodation for technology, right? So, all right. So before we got rudely interrupted by technology, we had asked Sally to tell us what she thought about people in the building wealth in the diaspora. If it was easier for women to build wealth in the diaspora or for men or here or back in Africa. So what do you think?
so thank you, Sylvie, for having us back and for working through that little glitch, as I call it. So personally, I think building wealth in the diaspora is much easier. Again, it's back to what Fia mentioned. You have this vast array of opportunities offered to you as a person, irrespective of whether you're a man or a woman. But for us women, it is even more because society doesn't put you in a box. You're not supposed to be seen and not heard. You know, and then there is all this. We have better structure that can accommodate the changes that women go through with childbirth, with childcare. We have all of that taken care of. So you have a chance to go out there and fight for your dreams and push for your dreams. So it is actually much easier if you're focused. Again, with everything, it's about focus. It's about how much you want it. How hungry are you for it? Right? But this country, like my brother always says, America is the only country on earth where you can live from selling jama jama in Cameroon and become a multimillionaire. And it is really true.
Yeah. And that leads me to my next question. Like you said, here you can leave from to selling jamanjama to a multi-millionaire, right? So anything is possible.
Right.
So, Fia, do you think that here the idea of the American dream is still a possibility?
Oh, oh yeah, totally. I mean, there is absolutely, I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of information that is out there, the amount of resources that is out there that we have access to as women to use, which is not available in Cameroon. You know, like you said, I mean, we all come here trying to get that American dream, and it's up to each and every one of us to determine what is the American dream that we have for ourselves, and what are you willing to do to accomplish that dream. There are so many resources that we can use that to
Mm.
make that happen.
Oh, yeah. And like, I like the fact that you mentioned information, because information, the right kind of information can, the right kind of information can either, having information, whether it has to be good or bad, right? So you need
Hmm.
to be careful what
Hmm.
kind of information that you utilize. Okay.
Hmm.
So that leads me to my next question is, do you think, and any of you can answer this question, do you think culture or gender plays a bigger role in, affecting the way women build wealth in the diaspora or in Africa?
So I will start off there.
Yeah.
I am going to say this is a topic that is another whole 6 hour discussion, right? But just to scratch the surface of it, I think it does significantly. We are trying to change the narrative for the next generation, but we were raised to think that being married and raising children is the end all and be all of everything.
Mm,
So, growing up in that environment, you realize that you have all of these dreams, but you cannot even express them. You're not allowed to express them. You're
mm,
not. And when you try to express them, they say, "Oh, that became a strong head. I
mm,
begin that." But you were just trying to be a person, a wholesome person. And I keep
Hmm.
saying that if you're not a wholesome woman, you cannot be a wholesome wife. You cannot be a wholesome
mm,
mother. You cannot be a wholesome employee. All of these things for a woman is intertwined. It's like a basket. It's woven together. If you pull one string out, everything unravels. And
mm,
so that is why you see a lot of women in our communities, be it in the diaspora or back home, have a lot of challenges that they do not express. And they take it out, especially on the children.
Hmm.
A woman, for breaking a glass, a mom will go all
mm,
crazy. It's not the glass, it is
Hmm.
everything else that is not working for her that
Hmm.
she's trying to express. She's never been taught to express that. And
Hmm.
so it is up to us to speak it out, to preach it, to sing it, to chat,
mm,
do whatever you need to do. But have your circle of friends understand that they can be themselves. They can be
mm,
that version of themselves that they have always dreamt to be.
mm,
Fortunately, it is much easier in the diaspora. So for us, the women in the diaspora, I'm speaking to all of us who are not back home in Cameroon. Please get your girl circle going and you strive to be that which you want to be. You have the possibility.
Hmm.
mm,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but those are great points. I mean, both the gender and the culture play a bigger role. And I think, like you said, one of the biggest challenges, especially for us immigrants, is that the constant battle with the culture that you were raised in, and then you're trying to move forward in this environment. You keep turning back to, you keep going back to those beliefs that are like, oh, a woman is just supposed to do this, or we're supposed to do that. And also another thing, as far as the culture goes, is that most of us in the diaspora, we live in three generational homes. We live with our children and our parents, mothers, mother-in-laws. You're in that environment where even if you're trying to move forward, or more have like a more progressive agenda for the women, you still have those women in your lives with the cultures from back home that are meant to hold women behind. So you end up having that constant struggle. I'm like, am I moving forward or moving backwards? So those are all challenges that we all face.
mm. So like Eva was saying, that's this discussion is like a whole 6 hour discussion, because it's interwoven with so many pieces. You
Hmm.
guys talked about, three generational households and people being progressive. If people actually be, progressive enough to be able to digest what you're bringing to the table,
Hmm.
right? And just being able to find the right circle of women, which is what this discussion today is about, right? We want to be able to find the right circle of people to help us to build wealth. Now, before we even talk about building wealth, right now you ladies have careers. So, or maybe occupation. I don't know if you're planning on changing your careers just yet. So
That's a direct attack.
because hey, we're women and we're allowed to change our minds.
Tell me about it.
So so I would just want to know, why did you choose the occupations that you have?
Well, I guess I can go first. Like I said earlier on in this panel, I know most of us here are Africans. You know, once you're growing up in Cameroon, you have a path right from Form 3. Either you're a science student or an art student, you know. So pretty much I was good with math and science, so I kind of veered towards the science route. And I know my parents' dream for me was to become a doctor. You know, I wrote the entrance to become to get into Qs, and I wasn't successful. So I went into college to do biochemistry, but I always had a passion for anesthesia. I had a friend's dad that was an anesthetist, and I never even knew he was not a doctor until I learned about nurse anesthetist. So that became my new dream. That's what I'm gonna be. And so that's what led me to become a nurse anesthetist. And I love it every single day. I'm passionate about it. And, you know, it's my area of Zen. You know, I have, you know, and um, yeah, I mean, that's great. You know, lately I've been thinking about this, and I went back and I was like, I cannot really even tell you what I wanted to do when I grew up, because growing up everybody's like, yeah, you're going to be this, you're going to be that. Your parents are like directing you. So honestly, I cannot tell you what I always wanted to be.
I was reading this. I was reading this article or watching this series that talked about African women growing up, how we're taught to shrink ourselves, like Sally was saying. I am having a hard time saying Sally versus Yabe. Just excuse me.
Anyone works
I know you keep saying yeah and go. It's
I'm
okay.
like,
anyone
okay,
works just fine.
this is my tribe, y'all. But so I was watching the series, and it said the African woman is being brought up to shrink herself into to fit her husband's needs, right? So
Hmm.
what you want to do, career wise, that's not even brought up. That's not even, nobody talks about that. So like you said, it's like, oh, what do you want to do? Like nobody asks a woman. It's like, okay, you need to learn how to cook, you need to learn how to do dishes, like come to the kitchen. Nobody brings the male child to the kitchen to learn how to cook. It's
Hmm.
always the girl has to learn how to cook because your husband is going to want you to cook.
Hmm.
So yes, we shrink our abilities and our capabilities, but then they highlight the male's abilities and capabilities. So it speaks to what you were saying, like, oh, you never really thought about it because yeah, nobody cares about what we can do. But hey, we're
Hmm.
about to change that, Hansi.
Yep. Yep.
What what about you, Sally, aka Yabe?
AKA Auntie Baby. Well, I wouldn't say I chose my career. I would say my career chose me. Again, it's back to where what Fia said. When you were in school, you were either an art student or a science student. I was unfortunately straddling both because my favorite subject has always been literature, but
Mm-hmm.
I was super excellent in biology and chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Physics and mathematics just whooped my butt like there's no tomorrow. So I was that student that I kind of excelled in both worlds. And I love to do things. I love to go out there and socialize. And I think that is still visible today. So when I finished high school, the plan was to go to med school. But I hated Qs with all the veins in my body. I hated Qs in Yaoundé.
Mm-hmm.
And not because it was not a good school, but because of the stories I have heard of how hard it is to get in and how people just go get in and people who don't have a passion to be medical doctors. So that to me particularly translated to people killing people in hospitals. So I hated the institution. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So fortunately or unfortunately, along the line, my mom, who was my driving force, she passed on in my first year in university. So I didn't make it to medical school. I did do biochemistry and microbiology from the University of Boya. After that, I was home, as always, in Cameroon, the Chaumet,
Mm.
and I got an opportunity in an oil and gas firm to work in their laboratory. as a biochemistry specialist. And that's where I really picked up the bug for oil and gas. A couple of months down the road, we absolutely needed a body offshore. Not because I knew anything, they just needed a body to be standing there. Just, this is the person we're sending to the client's rig. And, you know, at the meeting, the manager says, Sally, are you up for that? I'm like, yes, count me in. And from that point on, I worked 14 years in oil and gas, working offshore for 11 of those 14 as an oil and gas engineer. Now, after that, I said, okay, I've had my babies. I'm too old for this. I cannot be jumping rigs and, you know, catching helicopters and having my heart beat out of my chest every time I have to go from a boat onto the rig. I need something different. And so I started looking into IT, of course, with the help of my siblings, who are my strongest force. And that is how I found Scrum Master, because it tallied with the project management I've done in oil and gas. It was an easy switch for me, and it was comfortable. And learning it and going deeper into it, I realized that it suits my personality. This is my happy place. Being able to coach people, being able to see people win, being able to see teams win is my happy place. So I think I have found my happy medium, and I'm sticking there.
Oh, praise you, Lord Jesus.
Amen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, Fru, we are changing that perspective. And if you heard the ladies speak, like Yabe she went to oil and gas, which is known as the man's world, right?
World.
She was there for 14 years. Girl came here. It's minorities typically don't go into the anesthesis profession. She is in there and she's kicking butt. She's, you know, she's a mentor to the people over there in the nurse anesthesia program. So, I mean, you can do anything that you set your mind to. It's basically what this is basically what I'm getting from their stories, right? And I am a nurse practitioner sitting here talking money. I can talk money till you turn blue in the face, right? And somebody asked me, what do you do? And I'm like, that's a good question. I'm a nurse practitioner by day and a financial coach by night. So take your pick. So we can do anything we set our minds to. So that is the perspective that we're changing, right? So, and that's what this show is about. So with that being said, I would like to know from those of you watching, have you ever faced gender bias at work? And while they are chiming in, I want to hear from my guests as well. Have any of you, or Sally, have you been coming from finance? Well, you were in oil and gas.
Hey, you take that one.
Yeah, I'll take this one. And I can talk about gender bias in oil and gas for the next 2 months, and we won't scratch the surface of it.
All right, well, we got a show to end, okay?
But starting off in a career path that was male dominated, it was hard. It was hard to break through the stereotypes. It was hard to you had to work 10 times as hard to prove that you're capable and that you earned your place on the rig, right? So my first time on the rig, first ever time, I had been working in the lab for 3 months, thereabouts. And I go to the rig, and the first time I walk on the rig, and they're like, oh, we got a female cook this time. And I'm like, okay, that's definitely not me. It's probably some other girl they're talking about. I could not believe it. And I got to the rig about 5 o'clock. Typically, that's about dinner time on the rig, between 5 and 7. So I got shown my room, went through the safety procedures and everything. And they said, okay, you can go down to dinner. And here I am feeling myself like an engineer from Schlumberger, you know, blue coveralls, brand new hats, looking you can imagine. And I walk into what we call the mess hall, that's the dining room. And I walk into what they call, in the Total platforms, it used to be called mess, something like that. So it's the premiere, it's for the managers and the Schlumberger staff and everything. And I walk in there, and immediately one guy stands up and says, I'm sorry, your way, that is the kitchen. Honest to goodness, I felt like punching him in the face. But I was the only female on that rig, and there were 237 men on the rig.
Wow.
So there were 238 people on that rig, and every morning we went out to different platforms to work, and I was the only woman.
Wow.
Every single day for 2 weeks, I got all kinds of, did you lose your way to the kitchen? Oh, are you just here to warm the manager's bed? I've heard it all. If you can think about it, I've heard it all. But again, going back to what Fia said about growing up in Cameroon, it builds resilience. There were times I would sit on top of my equipment in the middle of the ocean and cry bitter tears. But I was not going to give up.
Nope.
That's right.
To prove.
Nope.
And I did prove it.
No.
Wow.
Bias is...
Well, I am glad you did not give up.
Yeah.
So you wipe, you cry, you fix up your makeup, you lift up your chin, and then you get back to work and you do what you were born to do.
Yeah.
That's what we do. And then when you're in a position to change things like we are, you use your platform, you speak on it, and then you see how you can affect change, right? So
yeah, and that's why we're making that difference. If you get many more women getting into the oil and rig business over time, that is gradually going to diminish,
Yeah.
So
there's
it has significantly changed. 14 years down the road, by the time I left, we had what we call first generation rigs, 7 generation rigs that had special rooms for women. Before, I would share a room with 7 other people, and they will all be guys, and we share one bathroom and things like that. You had to live with it. The bathrooms don't have doors, so you have to take a shower. What do? You have to figure out. But it has improved, and there is a lot more. It's a lot more comfortable for women. And to the girls out there who are listening to us who want to go into oil and gas, please do not hesitate. You will have a great time.
Yeah. And that is some of these things we chalk them up to ignorance, and similarly, like when people say I do not see color, but then it's up to us to raise awareness and to educate people, right? And so because we encounter these biases, and so it's affecting when it starts affecting our money, Lord, we have a problem. I specifically have a problem. Okay. So a Harvard business study was done, and they found out that one of the ways that women can overcome this is by working together. Because when women work together, they found out they're more likely to land in executive positions, they're more likely to have positions of power, and they are more likely to have higher paying jobs. So of course, if we are in executive positions, then we can put measures in place and make decisions that are going to put, restrooms, and say, okay, wait a minute, these are things that you're overlooking that affect the female employee that's coming maybe to oil and gas or to whatever career that we're in, right? So, but then it starts with the women working together. And that is what the Harvard business study found. Are you surprised that it starts with the women working together to effect those changes?
I am not surprised at all, because I'm not sure what that saying goes. It's like whenever there's a natural disaster somewhere and they go to start new businesses, they don't provide those resources to the men in the community. That's provided to the women. Women have that nurturing nature, the willingness to share, the willingness, because they're thinking about the entire family. They're not feeding one mouth, they're filling an entire village. So I feel like if you share an information with a woman, you have more chances that is going to be spread to, in the positive.
Yeah.
You're bound to see that growth. Communities grow faster when women are empowered. There is clear research to show that. Yeah.
Praise you, Jesus. But
Hmm.
yeah, and one of the key reasons they said they highlighted for this happening was because the cultural and gender biases that women face, men do not experience, right? So then women now tend to form this circle of friends or networking contacts that
Hmm.
they rely on so they can share information.
Correct.
Correct.
So that's why, when they work together, it's like, okay, I went to this interview. You need to stay away from this. You need to answer this question.
Exactly.
So here are some negotiation tips, or here are the challenges that I face, so that they pass information back and forth. But here's my thing: there's no denying that there are challenges that come with finding the right circle of
Hmm.
women to
Hmm.
work with, right? So,
Hmm.
what do you ladies think is the biggest challenge with bringing a circle of women together? And let me know in the comments as well, for those who are watching. What do you think is the biggest challenge to bring in the right circle of women that can help you propel forward in your career or just your world building? So, any of you can go first.
So I will try. And this is really, really completely anecdotal, right? There is no evidence to support this. That's my disclaimer before I say it. As we say in Pidgin, I mean, talk for myself. So I think that how we were raised, our culture has a part to play in it, right? We are raised to keep everything under wraps, no matter how good, no matter how bad. If it is too good, people will be jealous of you. If it is
Mhm.
bad, you're exposing your family secrets.
True.
So when we get together, our first reaction is to hold back and see what that person thinks.
Mm.
You know, that kind of attitude. And
Hmm.
it is a challenge even till today. It is work in progress for every single one of us in this generation
Hmm.
Mm.
to break through those barriers. And if we get together as women and we start thinking like, okay, what am I bringing to the table that I can add to what she has so we can have more together?
Hmm.
We are starting in a good place. But the biggest challenge again is that culture of hide everything. And head has the cover outing,
Hmm.
all of those, which are very true, but we need to make sure we put them in the right context.
Mm.
Right. That's
Yeah.
my take on it.
Mm.
Yeah. So, Fia, before you go, Fru said something here about, one of the things you ought to do is to belong to a diverse group, not just your professional group. So that might help with, mitigating some of the challenges that we face. Absolutely. So, Fia, what do you
Hmm.
think is, one of the biggest challenges that we face with that?
I think one of the biggest challenges is finding those individuals that have the same goals that you have for yourself, or that have the same dream of what you're trying to achieve. And that is very important because research has shown that you're only as successful as the five closest people to you.
Mm.
So if your circle is people that just hang out, not want to progress, well, that's pretty much where you're going to be. So
Oh,
you got to look among your peers, or among your circle, and see who has goals that are aligned with mine.
what? See, we're sipping on that. By the way, if you're of legal drinking age, please, when you come to this session, just get something. If you're only as successful as the five closest people in your circle. Somebody
Yeah.
type that
Yeah.
in the
So
comment,
so
please.
so look
Please.
at your circle and see how you can grow.
Mm.
And one big thing that I know that I have noticed among us Africans is, or among immigrants, is the lack of self development. you know. Yeah, because I feel like once we have you're a nurse, like, oh, I'm a nurse practitioner. Okay, you're a nurse practitioner. In the past year, what book have you read that has been outside of nursing practice? So you need to surround yourself with people like that that will help you grow, that will come with different ideas from different aspects, different. You got to have a wide view of what the world is.
Woo.
And for you to do that, you need to have a circle that is well rounded and that has a goal to move forward in the same direction that you are. I'm not saying throw away your friends, still have your friends, but
No. Some friends, you need to throw them away.
Yeah. So we need to develop ourselves in other things other than this is my job, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep climbing the ladder. Like you said, you're a nurse practitioner, but what are you? A financial coach, a child advocate, okay? The person I can call at 4 a.m. no matter what else is going on in my life, Yabe is there. She is an engineer, she is in IT, okay? And we minimize a lot of the talents that we have. I think Yabe made a statement earlier how you can come from Jama Jama to become a millionaire. Guess what? African women, they just think that, oh, that Jama Jama na Joma small thing. But guess what? In this country, that Jama Jama will make you a millionaire. All of us, like, there are a lot of us that are like, oh yeah, I'll make you puff puff for this, or I'll make you this. That is a catering business. Make that as a business and grow yourself instead of always just, oh, I'm going to do this, oh, I'm going to do that,
But if you have not shared this video with your friends, you're wicked.
I mean, I'm just saying, so you have to have people like that are trying to move you forward. Okay. We know among our family members, we have people that are doing one thing or another. My sister-in-law is an event planner. So she does decor and stuff, But guess what? We're Africans, right? What happens? Oh, I'll just do it for you. Sometimes that's the case. But guess what? Your family member needs to be your number one business partner. That should be the person paying you the most for your business because they want to see you succeed, and you should all succeed and move forward together. Because if you are going to get deco services from someone else, you will pay them what they are due. So that is one thing killing us African women. We take each other, our family members and friends, for granted. The most valuable asset that we do have on this earth is our time. So if I do take my time and do one or two things for you, I need to be compensated for that, especially if that is my business platform.
Woo. My goodness. Oh, look at how Jesus.
And since you're sweating,
look at this. Look at the comments. The comments are coming. I'm just sweating. Look at it.
I mean, that's why we're here, right? We're here to build up each other. We're here to move forward, overcome all these obstacles to grow.
I am telling you that these women in the comments are building. Let us put up some of these comments. Sandy said, I've learned a lot. If you're the smartest one in the group, you need to look for
new friends.
You need to look for new friends.
Yes. That is totally true. Totally true.
Okay. Yeah. And then I think when you said that you need 5 friends, you need to look at your circle.
As successful as the 5 people closest to you.
See, that's we talk about in our tribe. So we have our tribe, the traveling sisters. Yes. So we have a tribe, and we talk about cleaning house. If it's not serving you, then you need to clean house. It's not the quantity of friends that you have; it's the quality of friends. Okay. So yes, definitely, Anne, you're right there. And somebody said amen to that. We're preaching up in here, okay? So yes, definitely. And again said also a lot of us are scared to fly. We need to know it's okay to move.
That is so true too.
Yeah. So here we're living the dream life. Whatever you want to what our motto is, if you want it and dream it, you can have it. So don't place limitations on yourself that God hasn't placed on you.
That
Amen.
is right. That's right.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Uh-huh. So if you look
That's
at the
it.
people, if you look at the people in your circle and don't get inspired, then you have
Sandy, that is profound.
a
And
case.
by the way, Miss Sandy is my jumpsuit trainer. I'm trying my best, coach, to do what I can, you
See,
know.
that's what they say. You need to sister needs to support a sister. You
Yes.
have to have a coach for different areas of your life, a coach
Amen.
for fitness, a coach for person spiritual, a coach, like, find people to uplift you in every areas of your life. Okay. And that's Aida. She's also a debt elimination coach. If you don't follow her, make sure you check out her page. There's a business in attendance, monetize them. Yes, that's my sister talking about money, you know. And
Yeah.
Sandy again says, smart people surround themselves with people who are even smarter. See, that's why I brought two smart people up in here preaching the gospel to y'all.
Sure.
Eh?
You got to have
Well,
Sandy on this show next
yes,
time.
Fine.
yes. Sandy,
Yeah, I
Sandy,
support.
you need to come up here. Hey, and then
Sandy and Anna, man.
yes. And then Granny is always there cheering us on, So thank you, sister.
Yeah.
So, all right. So there's lots of good comments up in here. Quality of friends, not the. That's right, and that's right. So Anne has a magazine coming up, y'all. You need to make sure you check it out. Check it out.
Yes. Yeah. We're all
That's
looking
my
forward to
circle.
that.
All right.
Yes. There's your wellness coach there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So now we talked about a circle of women. Now, you ladies, I was gonna ask you, what are the top 3 strategies for selecting the right women to bring into your circle? What would you say are the top 3 strategies?
Sorry, repeat that question again.
Like, what are the top 3 qualities you look for in the women that you bring into your circle? I mean, apart from the fact, I'll say, like, I joke and I tell people that I'm allergic to poverty. All right. I tell people that I'm allergic to
We all
poverty.
are.
Like the poverty mindset, I'm allergic to it. So you can't be in my circle if you're like, can't do. No, that's one of the qualities that I can do. So you can't be in my circle if you're of the poverty mindset. All right. So what are some of the qualities you look for?
So one of the things I look for is the can-do mindset. I believe that you lose 100% of the opportunities you don't take. So I will try rather than not try at all. So I prefer, or I look for people that are fighters, that against all odds, they stand. They may not thrive, but they stand. And that gives them a chance to try again. So if you have a can-do attitude, that's one. And to corroborate, I think I am kind of allergic to poverty, because I have a saying, anyone who knows me has heard me say it a million times. I always say, I know come America who can't count electric pole.
Yeah.
So counting electric poles basically means just driving around doing nothing. So you're idle. So you're going around counting, the lampposts on the road.
Yeah.
That's not what I came to do.
Yeah.
And I would expand that to say that is not what I came to do in the world. And those 2 are my top. The third one is very fluid. It can be a lot of things. Maybe nationality, maybe personality, maybe. It's very fluid. But those top 2, you're fighter and you're allergic to poverty.
Sister, when you use the word fluid, you have to be very
fluid about it. So what I'm saying is, there's a few others that to me are about on the same scale. I can, give up one for the other. There is, do we have a cultural connect, or do we have that, that willingness to learn about other cultures? Because that's something particular about me. I think I am quite well traveled and I like to learn and see new places.
Mhm.
So I like people who like, and I guess it ties back into that can-do attitude, that always try it and fail and things like that. But there's a few of them that I can give one over the other. They're about on the same scale in my books.
Okay. What about you,
Mhm.
Ngo?
I think Salise kind of covered a lot of what I would look for as well.
Okay.
I would just like to add someone that's genuine. You show your true self no matter where you are, what day it is, not people that like changing based on who is around or not. So you can determine and you can know that you can always count on them to be that person at that time.
Oh,
Yeah.
all
True.
right. Well, I think that we have covered quite a bit today, and what we are basically saying is that there's power in women coming together and supporting one another, right? So let me see if we have any comments. And yes, Fruit said there we should look for individuals who are not afraid to fail. Yeah, failure is guaranteed for sure, but then it's how you get back up, right? And
Hmm.
then supportive of each other. And then Coach came back, said loyal, open-mindedness, and authentic. I think Ngo, you mentioned that as well.
Hmm.
Hi, Yvonne. Thank you for joining us. So yeah, I think those are the other comments that they mentioned as well. So I know we're talking about building wealth, so it's very important that I do put here that part of building wealth that we stress a lot with Beyond Financial Reset is being able to eliminate your debt prior to building wealth. So I do want to encourage you to check out our debt elimination challenge that we have going on our platform, that it's a 14-day challenge, so you can eliminate your debt. And yes, including your student loans, believe it or not, you can get rid of them, child. And so you can be able to build wealth and then live the life that you want, and we can have more of these conversations. All right, so please check out our 14-day Beyond Financial Reset Debt Elimination Challenge. Damn, that's a mouthful. Anyway, check it out. So, ladies, before we go, how can people reach you, ladies?
So I can be reached on the Icon IT website and phone number. I can be reached on Icon IT on Facebook and on Instagram as well. And just to add to what Sylvie said before I go, I like to hear my own voice, so pardon me. Uh, debt elimination comes with making that money that you can use, having that disposable income. So one of the things that we strive for at Icon IT is to making you get that six-figure income. 150K a year is possible. 250K a year in the IT world is possible. You just need to be hungry enough to want it. So if you're hungry enough, hit us up on Icon IT and we'll take you there. And then Sylvie will help you manage it so you become a millionaire quicker. And then Fia will make sure you're healthy. And then right. So that is building your tribe going on there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. All right, girl. How can we reach you if we need to reach you?
You can reach me through Facebook, and I'm also, like Sylvie said earlier, passionate about anesthesia in Cameroon. So please, please, especially if you're Cameroonian, go check out our website. And we have a conference coming up in Cameroon this December, and we really, truly do need your support. I mean, we all know how scared we get when a family member is going to have surgery in Cameroon. So please, and I know there are tons and tons of Cameroonian nurses in this country. Anesthesia is an option. I've spoken to a lot of you. I've spoken to a lot of you. You can do it. We need to get out of that defeatist mindset that, oh, I've heard it's too difficult. No, I did it. You can do it. If you need any help in how to navigate that process to get into school, please, you can reach me through Facebook, Ngofia Achu. That's where you will find me. And also, one last piece of advice before we close. Sylvia, I have a saying, if you let me say it.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
think this is especially important. It's just my for our community, and I didn't come up with it. It's from Will Rogers. It says, too many people spend money they earn to buy things that they don't want to impress people that they don't even like. So we I'm saying, because I know ourselves, I know us Africans, we have the arrival syndrome. I'm making money, I'm gonna get this car, get these things. Why? You don't need those things. So just try to live according to your means and do the best you can to
All
save.
right.
Yes.
All right. All right, people, that is all we have for the show today. Please make sure that you are following our page, Beyond Financial Reset, on Facebook, and make sure you're tuning to our show every Tuesday live in the diaspora. Thank you so much, Mrs. Fointama, Sally, and Mrs. Ngu. Yeah, Achu, for joining us today and blowing our minds with all this useful information. And thank you to everyone for joining us and making this Tuesday evening as spicy as it is. And cheers to, you know, I'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Go support an African business.
That's right. That's a good one.